Okay, so in this lesson we are going to look at Master Crowleys. We're going to look at some variations on the original tune. The original tune that appears in the Folklore Open Session Book Volume 2 is a straight reel. It's all eighth notes, other than two crotchets that appear, so it's a very straight tune where all the notes are very consistent. I'll play it through slowly for you now. Just so you can hear the tune if you're learning this for the first time. So in terms of fingers, your first fingers are playing your second fret here, your second finger is playing 4th fret, and your third finger is playing 5th fret for the A section. That changes slightly in the B section where your little finger is going to go up to 7th fret. Here's the A section, just played nice and slowly. Repeats. And the B section, first finger to 2 and your little finger's going out to that 7. And that's the original tune. So I'll just show you that now over the backing track and up to speed. So that's the original tune that we are working from. So now we're going to look at some variations. So it's just where we've got those straight eighth notes throughout that whole tune. What we're going to do is we're going to throw in some extra notes in between those eighth notes just to create some sort of flourishes and a bit more interest within the tune. So to start off with, I'm going to play the A section with the first set of variations in it. So we're starting with exactly the same fingers. If you want to get used to the fingers to start off with, you can start by doing this little exercise where you're going to go 4th fret on that low string, then open D, first finger on the 2nd fret, 3rd finger on the 5th fret, then bring it back down, and then open, and then 2nd finger to that 4th fret again, 1st finger to 2nd fret, and then open, and then back up, and just do that. Just a good way of just playing that around a few times to get your fingers in the right place. So those are the notes we're going to be using for the A section and the right fingers. So to throw in this first variation, then I'm going to play through the A section really slowly. Hopefully you'll hear where these variations are. So we go. Okay, so that is the A section with the variations in it. First variation is at halfway through the first bar, so we've got that 4, 2, open, and then we've got 2 open 4, okay, that's that first bar. Second bar, we go. Okay, so the variation comes slightly later there, so you go. That's the same as the original tune, and then open 4, and then the 5 open, which kind of leads into the next line. So that's that second bar then. So second bar just running around slowly. And the third bar is the same as the first bar. So and the last bar in the A section, so this is the fourth bar, there's just an extra bit on the end, so we're going to go, that's your crotchet, that note there, so that's one you hold slightly longer, and then just 4, 4, so that's 2, 4, and then open, which either brings it round back to the beginning or leads it into the B section quite nicely. So I'll play that A section around with those variations in nice and slowly now. So here we go. 2, 3. Section round twice. So that's set 1 of variations for the A section. Now for the B section, we're going to be adding in a note at the end of the first bar and the end of the third bar, and then there's a little bit at the end, but the rest of it all stays the same. So we've got our normal, and then it's at this point, just at the end of that first bar, where we're going to do a, whereas before all we were doing was, now we're just going to go, which seems like a very small thing. It almost seems slightly pointless to worry about throwing in such a small note between two that are the same anyway. But that kind of added rhythm, that's what kind of gives your playing a little bit more finesse, I suppose. So you're going to go. Okay, so that's the only difference in that first 2 bars of the B section. And the second 2 bars of the B section, it's the same. So hanging on that crotchet, and then at the end we've got this little 4-note phrase that again is either going to run the first time bar on the tablature there, is going to run you back to the beginning of the B section, which goes. So that's 2nd fret on the A string, it's your B note, and the open A, and that 4th fret on the D string, and back up to that open A. So back up to that open A, which brings you into the beginning of the B section, which starts on that B. So you go. That last note there being the first note of the B section. So I'll do that B section around with that ending on it. So here we go. So we go. So then the second time round you play the B section, it's almost exactly the same, but we're going to go 2, open, and then 4, and then open D string at the end. So, which is going to bring us back into that low B, which is where the A section starts. So when you're repeating around. Okay, so I'll play the B section with that ending on it now. So we go. Okay, and then I'll stick the two together. So we go. The A section. So those are all the variations, just for that first set of variations. Just throwing in those extra notes there to give your playing something a little bit extra on this tune, where it's such a straight sort of reel. It's just using notes out of the scale. There's the E minor scale, so same notes as G major. So very common notes to be playing around with, and it's just sort of throwing those ones in there in the right places, just generally used to lead into another part quite often, but those variations can really bring something out in quite a straight tune. So I'll show you that now over the backing track and up to speed, and then we'll have a look at the second lot of variations. Okay, so now to look at the second lot of variations. So we're taking up another sort of step here, really. We're using some of the same variations as we used in the first set of variations, but we're going to look at them as hammer-ons and pull-offs, which is optional. You can kind of mix it up. You can do hammer-ons on some of them, pull-offs on some of them, or you can just play them, pick them straight on some of them. It's nice to create a bit of dynamic in that sort of sense. That sometimes rounds you might pick them, sometimes rounds you might slow them. But for this set of variations as an exercise, I'm going to show you them with the hammer-ons and pull-offs throughout. So we start off in the same way, and then that first variation we did in the first set, we're going to do that 2 open there on the first bar as a pull-off. So go. And then at the end of that bar, we're going to do a 3-note pull-off. So you're going to put your second finger down on that 4th fret on the D string. Your first finger you're going to put down on 2nd fret on the D string. Get it down ready, so as soon as you put that second finger down, first finger wants to go directly behind it. You're going to play that note, pull your second finger off, leaving your first finger in place, and then pull your first finger off to create 3 notes. 3 blind mice. Now, when we're doing this in this particular tune, it's quite a quick little change. So don't worry too much about trying to practice, although it is a really good thing to practice. But in this particular case, what we're trying to do is trying to get them all to go in one sort of smooth motion. So go. So it's really quite a quick little frill at the end of that line. So go. Okay, so that is so that's the variation there. And then in the second bar, again, that 0-4 as a hammer on. And then the last 4 notes, again, this is another pull off, but you're going to pull off all 4 notes this time. So you put your first finger down on that 2nd fret again, 2nd finger down on that 4th fret again, and your 3rd finger on that 5th fret. And in the same way, you're going to go. Now, the best way I kind of try and explain this one is if you try and imagine that where you've got these fingers down, you've got a bit of rope that's attaching all of them, and if you were to pull the rope from this end, that's how they would come off. So that's that little variation at the end there. So we go. Okay. 3rd bar the same as the 1st bar again. And then the 4th bar, so the end of the A section, you're going. And we're going to do a hammer on 0-2, so that's that low string. This is replacing that crotchet that's up there in the original tune. So you go hammer on, play it another twice, play it one more time, and then hammer on to 4th fret, and then open D string. So that last bar goes. So those are variations, the set 2 variations for the A section. I'll play those variations around now for that A section, so it goes. Moving on to the B section variations, we're doing a lot of, well, the same kind of idea that we did with the variation on the B section in the first lot of variations, but in this particular case we're going to do sort of every other is a double. So we're going to start the same, so we're going to start normally, so, and then we're going to do a double on that 7, single on the 3, double on the 5, single on the 2, double on the 3, which is what we had in the first variations, and then double on that 5. So okay, and that's that rundown. Now if you pay attention to the video that I did last week with the full arrangement of this, you'll notice that I think on one of the last time rounds I play this, I'm actually doing those doubles on nearly every note, so you can kind of go through and do a double and do. So you can actually kind of double up the whole thing. But in this particular variation, I'm just showing you that as a basic idea. So we're going to go. And then the 4 that comes in there, what I've put in there is a slide. So you're actually going to bring your second finger back to 2nd fret, play it, and then just slide it straight into that 4. So the next little variation at the end of that line is I've just put a little slide in. So when you get to that 4, so it's the second bar of the B section with bar 15, you're going to come down that rundown. And then you're going to slide into that 4. So you bring your second finger back to 2nd fret, put it on there, play that note and slide into 4th fret. Just like that. If you've not done slides before, the trick with slides is that your thumb here will stay still, using it as a pivot. Your thumb stays still and you use it to push your finger forward. And then you're back onto that open A string. So. And then that carries around onto the 3rd bar, which is the same as the 1st bar of the B section again. So, and that's the similar ending as we did in the first sort of variations. So you do the rundown. So this is bar 17, and that would be your crotchet, which you would hold. But we're going to put another 2 notes in there. So you go. And then we do the little, but you can do that first to open as a pull-off. And that's it. Well, and that's the same thing with the endings on the variations. So the first time round you play that one where you go back onto the A. And the second time you play the B section, you do that pull off, and then you do the 4 open, which brings you back into the low B for the A section, which you can again do as a pull off. So you do 2 open as a pull off, and then 4 open as a pull off. And that's the variations for that B section. So let me play those around for you. So first time round on the B section, we're going. Into where the A section starts. So that covers the variations and what you can kind of throw into this tune. I'll now show you those last sets of variations to the backing track and up to speed. And that concludes our lesson on the variations for Master Crowleys. I'll do some more videos of this with tunes out of the open session book and other things. Do comment, do like and subscribe on the YouTube channel, or find on Patron where you can get the full set of this lesson along with the tabs and the notation to go with it and the backing track. So thank you.